had been preparing for such deployments for the last several months actually, because we are looking for an international certification, and we had two teams partially ready at two locations, Ghaziabad 8th Battalion and Kolkata 2nd Battalion. So we picked out the best people, the equipment that we require, which is quite a long list, because when the teams move, they have to be prepared for all kinds of situations which this kind of a disaster can bring forth. And these two teams were then, documentation was done in a very prompt fashion by the External Affairs Ministry, passports, official passports made, issued, forms filled, teams collected, ration, tentage. The ethos is that when we go to a situation like this, NDRF presumes that the local administration is already under a lot of stress. So we presume that we should not be an additional stress on them, and we should need nothing from them. So the teams go prepared for a self-sustained 15-day operation. They carry their tentage, they carry their rations, so that if we don't see anybody there, only one person who points out a building to us or a set of buildings, please work here, that's all we need. So in this case, we explored the possibility that whether transportation would be available when we reach, which was not very clear still. So we carried vehicles with us, 3 vehicles with the first team, which landed, left at 3 o'clock yesterday morning, landed at 11 o'clock. Second team landed at 2000 hours in the evening. A total of 7 vehicles, 101 rescuers, including 5 lady rescuers who are doing really well in the force. And they volunteered for this, and they have gone maybe as a first to an international operation, including 4 canine partners with us, 4 sniffer dogs. So these teams are already in operation. So one team landed at Adana, the first one, at 11 o'clock yesterday. And the second team was diverted to Urfa because Adana was crowded. So second team landed at about 20:45 hours, correcting myself, almost 8:45. And they have both been converged at the place you see, Nurdagi, which is in Gaziantep province, one of the worst affected areas. So they are both there right now and deployed. They are still living in tents. They realized when they started assessing the damage there that the buildings they were entering and assessing were still suffering from aftershocks, still shaky, unstable. So they have chosen to be in the open. The weather is, as mentioned by the Secretary West, that is harsh. Aside from the low temperatures, it's windy, snowfall, rainfall. But the teams are very well equipped. We quickly put together a very good apparel for them from whole of government approach. ITBP pitched in with their best attire for winter clothing. So they are comfortable, and they started working. Then the third team's requirement was pitched, sent to us. So the third team was under preparation in Varanasi. We have more teams in queue in case we require, but third team from Varanasi was airlifted and brought to Delhi today. I just met them at Hindon Airport. And in the next few hours, they would depart with, again, 51 rescuers, a canine complement, and 4 vehicles, so that the stress on the local administration is the minimal. So that is the stage as of now. Where they would deploy the third team is left to the local administration. The defense attaché of the embassy there is coordinating our liaising with the local administration, and they would decide where do they need this team to start working. So that is the NDRF response till now. As I mentioned, we have more teams in reserve because we don't know how many more would be required. The damage is extensive across a very large area, and we are prepared to render whatever help, any additional teams that India can provide to Turkey in this time of crisis.